Good evening, my friend. Welcome to the show. I am Lou Mongello. It is Wednesday night. As always, it is my favorite night of the week because I get to spend and share some of it with you. If you are watching live, thank you for being here. Please do me a favor, sit back, relax, tag and invite a friend to watch along with us. And if you're watching on the replay, join us here every Wednesday. Not always here, sometimes out in the parks. Every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much for being here. It has been an exciting week. There's lots of stuff going on. There's some new stuff coming on the whiteboard. I spent some time with Her Royal Highness Becky Mencken from MEI Master Fan Travel last week. A lot of plans and planning is on the immediate and long-term horizon. We'll talk about that tonight as well. But tonight really is going to be all about you and any questions that you have for me that we can answer. We'll also talk about my interview with Dewan Rivers this week. Really loved and appreciate all of the great feedback this week about the interview with Dewan. And I know a lot of you asked that I would do more of those kinds of interviews. Also, we're going to be, as you know, this week, starting tomorrow, there's going to be a new show in your feed, as we'll be bringing back some things from the archives, from the vault, as they might say, as well as some new episodes and topics. We talked about it this week. If there's an episode you'd like me to put back into the feed, maybe one that you think some folks who just might have found the show would really enjoy, you can always let me know in the Clubhouse or on Messenger. And an easy way, somebody asked me about, I mentioned the jukebox on the show. If you have never seen or heard the WW Radio Jukebox, if you go to www.radio.com/jukebox, there is a single player. So if you want to watch, if you enjoy listening from your web browser, there's an easy way to browse through all of the back catalog of episodes, including some of the ones that I'm going to be bringing back up starting tomorrow, and a few other ideas I have for some things that I'm going to be able to share, including some top fives instead of top tens, some time-sensitive episodes. We'll also be doing a little Disney in a minute in terms of talking about things coming back from the vault as it was. So a lot of stuff that I am looking forward to sharing with you, and I appreciate all of the different ideas that you have sent from me as well. And like I said, we'll be bringing some stuff back from the vault starting tomorrow. You don't have to do anything. It doesn't cost you anything. It's going to appear right in your feed. So looking forward to doing that. There's always something new on the horizon. There's always something new on the whiteboard in Evernote or in my head. So lots coming up. Speaking of things that are coming up, by the way, I had a chance today to get a sneak peek, and it's a sort of not really sneak peek because it did air on the National Geographic channel. But if, in case, as the kids like to say, in case you missed it, starting on Friday, there is a new documentary by and from and on NatGeo about making the Disney Wish. I had a chance to screen it, preview it, see it, talk to the producers and some of the folks who were involved with it. It is fascinating. I really loved it. I described it to them. I said, first of all, it doesn't feel like something that Disney, it doesn't feel like a commercial because it's not for the Disney Wish. Far from it. It has that Nat Geo feel and touch and tone to it. And I likened it to it's like a post-credit scene from if you just got off a Disney Wish cruise. It shows you all the things behind the scenes, the construction of the cruise, of the ship, going behind the scenes, not just in terms of the building of the ship, but it gets to take you, and this is the stuff that I dig, it takes you into areas of the ship that you would not get to see otherwise, right? The provisioning areas, the storage units, Broadway or I-95 as it's called. Really well done. And if you've never sailed on the Wish, it might get you excited for going on the Wish. And if you want to go travel on the Wish, visit our friends over at mousefantravel.com. So it is airing on Disney Plus starting on Friday, whatever time it drops, midnight, 3 a.m., whatever it is. But really cool. Mike Beckerman says, extremely excited for the making the Disney Wish. Love to see how everything came together. It's really well done. And if you've cruised on the ship before, it gives you a new appreciation for not just, and then they addressed the pandemic and everything that happened, and the delays that happened from it. But it really gives you a sense of just what an overwhelming engineering project this is. When you see it sort of, stripped of everything and you see sort of what goes into it, I think it gives you a new appreciation, not just for that ship, but shipbuilding and engineering. And I love that kind of stuff. So this was very much in my wheelhouse. There was a little part of me that's like, oh, maybe I need to go on the Wish one more time. Although this was not meant to be, but we have our cruise, not on the Wish, but on our Fantasy coming up on April. It got me even more excited for that. We still have some room left, by the way, and there's still some great deals on cabins. So if you go to www.com/cruise, you can get a free, no obligation quote from our friends over at mousefantravel.org.com. But speaking of NatGeo and speaking of cruises, I know a few weeks ago I teased you, I asked you, and you responded in spades if anyone would be interested in doing a NatGeo river cruise. The response was far more overwhelming than Becky or I could have anticipated. So yes, we are doing our 8-day river cruise to the Christmas markets in Budapest, Bratislava, Vienna, Wachau Valley, Salzburg, Passau, and ending in Munich this year, December 9th through the 16th. You can get a free no obligation quote at www.com/NatGeo23. The closer we get to this and the more we talk about it, the more excited for this cruise I am. I have heard over and over again for years, one about river cruising, which is a very different experience than going on like a Disney cruise, right? This is a NatGeo cruise, right? This is NatGeo cruise. But as opposed to going on like one of the Disney ships, it's very different because I think for Disney, the ship is the star, right? I've always said I don't really care where the ship goes. I could sort of just go in circles. But here, the ports are the stars. More importantly, we chose this date because of the Christmas markets. So you not only get to stop in every single day at different ports, but see these historical Christmas markets, and you're led not by not by a Disney cast member, but there's a National Geographic expert and a National Geographic photography expert who's going to be there as well, who's going to give us a lot of the history and the behind the scenes. I'm super excited about the photography person being there, like helping teach us how to like take great photos and nighttime photos, and exploring some of the hidden treasures of the Christmas markets and all of the historic stops along the way. Again, if you go to www.com/NatGeo23, you can see more. And if you've ever been on a river cruise before, please let me know in the comments. I know a bunch of you who are here are actually coming with us. I can't wait. Starla says, I can't quit smiling. It's amazing. Beatrice Dennis says, I can't wait. What I'm super excited for, because this is very different for me, is that the ship itself, because it's a river cruise, is very different. There's only 156 guests total. That's it. 76 staterooms. So it's a much more intimate, a little bit more of a luxurious and relaxing experience. The ship is relatively new. It was built in 2016, and it still has all of the amenities that you'd hope for and you'd see on some of the bigger ship, including, the pool and the walking/running track and entertainment and food. And, I was thinking as I was sort of filling out the grid and putting it in there, and a lot of people ask about the pricing. I thought a lot about the pricing, and this too is different than a Disney cruise. So for example, the river cruise that we're going on is December 9th through the 16th of this year. The rates start at about $45 per person, double occupancy. If you want a balcony, it's a few $100s more. Staterooms are starting to sell out. This does, by the way, include a $750 discount off all the rates until May 1st. So there's a little bit of urgency in booking. But like things like the Star Cruiser, I started to like reverse engineer the numbers, right? Because sometimes you see a number like 45, 4,600, you're like, wait a second. $4,600 for the 8 days works out to be about $575 per day. That obviously includes your accommodations. Most rooms have twin balconies. Um, Silly things like free Wi-Fi and entertainment on demand and things like that. It includes all your meals. There is a regular restaurant. There's a chef's table. They had me when I read all day tapas. All day tapas and afternoon tea. I might just not get off the ship. There's 24-hour coffee station. There's a lot of like high-end food options as well. It also includes all your drinks, receptions and cocktail hours. Did I mention the tapas and the snacks? Lectures, onboard entertainment, all of your excursions. So unlike a Disney cruise where you have to pay for individual excursions, all of your excursions and activities are included, right? So again, when you break down the numbers, it starts to make sense. All of your ground transportation, all of your entrance fees, your airport transfers, your guides, they are all taken care of and they are all included in that. So you really do get a lot for your, starting at $575 a day and getting to go to places in the world that I have never visited before and to see it during Christmas. I'm getting like choked up. I'm excited. And I see that there's other folks and other friends who are in the chat. I'm scrolling back really quick, who are, I know are already joining us. So Mike Beckerman says, it's always been a bucket list cruise for me. The fact that we get to go as a group, I couldn't be more excited. There is nothing better than going together as a group. Dusty says, I've done that cruise and it is amazing. I've also heard that as well. Does the small ship run the risk of being bored or trapped? So Mike, what I'm understanding is that you're spending so much time every single day at the ports that really you come back, you have your breakfast on the ship maybe, and then you come back to the ship at night or late at night for meals. So you're not, unlike a Disney cruise where you're spending days at sea, it's a very different cruising experience. Starla says, I can't stop smiling. Wait, I saw somebody else saying, Hannah Boyce says, I love the tapas and tea room. Mike says, we have to get the stretchy pants out. Lisa Dinero Glasser says, I am so excited. So am I. I don't know why we're talking in staccato, but I am as well. And the pictures, you're right, the pictures that we're going to be able to take are going to be incredible. Whether you take your DSLR or take your iPhone, having a NatGeo photographer like there with us, and the fact that the ship is so small really, really excites me. Like even on Disney Cruise Line, like I like the more intimate ships. This is as intimate as it is going to get. Becky says the ship is more like a floating hotel. The real gems are the medieval times. No, I'm sorry, not medieval times, but the medieval towns and the tapas menu. I'm also excited for the tapas menu and the fact that we're going during Christmas. It's going to be beautiful. Again, I hear nothing but just rave reviews about the Christmas market. So when we saw this come up, this was a no-brainer, and it's why this sort of came together relatively very quickly. We're actually in the process of planning Disney Cruise Line cruises. Excuse me, 23. 2 years out, we're already starting to think about dates and locations and ports and ships. But this one came together very, very quickly. So I think it's going to be a great experience individually. More importantly, it's going to be a great experience that we get to do together as a group. I think there's, if you're trying to find other ways to justify it, I've helped to break down the numbers for you. It's an incredible learning opportunity. This is a once in a lifetime bucket list for me. So Dusty says, Alma Waterways is absolutely fabulous. The food, delicious. Dusty, I wasn't even thinking about the food. I'm not really a food guy or a sweets guy. I say this by myself because I know you'd be throwing something at me. Not you, Dusty, but other people. Becky would be throwing things at me. But yeah, I am just, like, I almost don't want to know too much. I want to just walk in and just be surprised. Like, it's why I don't watch videos of things ahead of time. It's because I want to see them with my own eyes. So I haven't watched any videos of the Christmas markets or the river cruises in general, even like the ship itself, other than what I've sort of seen on the NatGeo site. I haven't done a lot because I want to explore the ship and see it with my own. Like I saw today, there's bicycles on the ship that are free to use and take off. So if you want to just get off the ship at one of the ports and go like bike riding, I should probably get on that Peloton thing first, because this is not a bodybuilder or biking, but I've got a few months to prepare. But just being able to get on the bikes and sort of tool around or walk around the markets and the ports, I cannot wait. So if you're interested, if you want to find out more, you can get a no obligation quote from Mouse Fan Travel by going to www.radio.com/NatGeo23. Again, don't forget, if you book by May 1st, you can take advantage of the $750 savings per person off rate discount. So Dusty says, and the markets, I am going to have to bring stretchy pants. I am going to have to bring stretchy pants. So somebody's already asking, Deborah's saying, please do another Nat Geo expedition cruise. So Deborah, the Nat Geo product as a whole is something that I have been interested in for a while. I think Nat Geo, like even on Disney Plus, I think it sort of takes obviously a backseat to the Disney Plus programming, the Marvel, the Star Wars, sort of that the big picture type of thing. If you're ever sitting home and you're bored or you want to try something different, just pull up the Nat Geo section. There are spectacular documentaries, historical shows. There's even some stuff about some of the ancient places and things that I want to go and visit too. But it's beautiful. And to get that perspective on this type of an adventure is really, really, really appealing to me. Dusty says the food in the markets is also great. Not that I would care. So, Amy says, so sad I have work. Emily saying, fingers crossed for another Alaska cruise. I can neither confirm nor deny, Emily, that there are discussions going on about another Alaska cruise. I can't say anything out loud because Becky would get very, very mad at me. So I'm going to just sort of, avoid, answering that. But, I would love to go to Alaska again. That's all I'm saying. Becky said black licorice. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea or and I'm not a sweet guy. I love black licorice. I mean, my daughter sent me these because they're from Carnegie Mellon. These are black licorice Scotty dogs. I love, love, love black licorice. So I can't wait. Becky's freaking out. My phone's going to start blowing up in about 2 or 3 seconds. The bratwurst in the market, just the cultural exposure that we're going to get and that I'm going to get visiting all of these different historical destinations and Christmas and the group and the food. And yeah. So there you go. I didn't mean to go on such a long mini ramble about the Christmas Market River Cruise, but I was doing some stuff working on it today, and I found myself getting more excited. And then I was talking about Nat Geo with the Wish documentary coming out on Friday. So it all just sort of ties in together like a black and white cookie. So I would love, love, love for you to join us this December on our river cruise to all of these places that I am going to mispronounce again and again: Budapest, Bratislava, Vienna, the Wachau Valley, Salzburg, Passau, and Munich, December 9th through the 13th. Just think about all the cool Christmas presents or Hanukkah presents or Kwanzaa presents you're going to be able to bring home from these remarkable destinations. We're basically just going Christmas shopping. It's a Christmas. Listen, you want to be the hit of your white elephant this year? Becky, we have to do wait a minute. We have to do a white elephant exchange while we're on the ship. It's perfect because we'll be able to get stuff from the Christmas markets. I like black licorice, by the way. Yeah, I'm getting ecstatic. Jason says, I love Jim Rohowski's grandfather was born in Budapest. There was also something that happened between Hawkeye and Black Widow in Budapest, from what I understand. The details, a little sketchy. So there you go. Somebody just asked a question. Nick has already just moved on to the Ask Me Anything. Churro or funnel cake? So funnel cake, when I hear funnel cake, I think of the Italian feasts back in New Jersey when I was a kid, which also makes me think about things like Zeppoli, which makes me think of beignets, which is why we're going to do another New Orleans trip at some point soon, but I didn't say that. But I'm going to go with churros, specifically a Disneyland churro. I will plant my flag and say that the Disneyland churros are 10, 11 times better than the Walt Disney World ones. And I think it's because of the water and the humidity. I have no other, they're just crunchier and crispier and lighter and puffier on the inside than they are here. So, do I think the whole boat will end up being WDW Radio? We were getting excited / nervous at the beginning because of the number of inquiries we had when I first put it out there. And I only mentioned it. I think I only mentioned it here on the live show. And Becky and I were like the next day we're like, this is more than half the ship. This is now 2/3 of the ship. Right now it's not, we do not have the full boat, but I think the more of us from the clubhouse, from the community, the better. I think it would be amazing to do. Michael Goldtrap says, and if you have random questions, just continue to throw them out. If I miss it, just keep asking. Michael Iceberg or Sunny Eclipse? I do love me some Sunny Eclipse, but I think I loved the live performances of Michael Iceberg and his Iceberg machine, which was so, the technology was so new. The synthesizers and the sounds that he was creating were so new, and his incredible Iceberg machine and the multi-levels of different keyboards. I have to give it to one Michael Iceberg. Kinder chocolate is better than licorice. Listen, Kelly, I think that Kinder and licorice, they can exist together in the world once again like a black and white cookie. What Disney question are you asked a whole lot, or is it always changing? For a long time, Tom, it was, how do I save money going to Disney World? Hence the birth of the 102 Ways to Save Money for that Walt Disney World book. If somebody asks you something 3 times, it's a common problem. There's a solution that needs to be implemented. That literally is how the book idea came to be. Nick says we just became besties. Jason, still not getting notifications of the live shows. I know, Jason, it is unfortunately, man, I miss Ustream. It is the difficulty of living in the ever-changing Facebook world. I know I posted a video on the WDW Radio page. Please make sure, if you're not getting notifications, go on your mobile device, go to the WDW Radio page, look to notifications, make sure you turn them all on. And also, I think there's an option now for live videos and see everything. Anything that you can turn on, turn on. I know it's still relatively hit or miss. Make sure your phone has notifications turned on as well. I wish there was something more that I can do about it. I thought about actually implementing a texting service, but I'm like, who wants to be received? Well, maybe we could, if you want to receive texts. But yeah, so I apologize for that. So, try that 3 she cells. What has been my Jonathan Embry says, what has been your most surprising interview so far? That's actually a great question. So do you mean surprising in terms of actually getting the person, or surprising interview in terms of what the person actually had to say? Because there's surprising moments, right? I will never forget the Alice Davis, I need to bleep this out moment that happened in her home, which I will forever remember. There's the get, right? Julie Andrews, the get of Julie Andrews and the conversation and the things that she said after I had stopped recording were incredibly surprising. Kevin Feige on multiple occasions. So that also goes to Maureen's favorite interview of all time. They really are sort of all favorites. I think that I'll give you my top 3, and I don't like doing this because I don't want to slight anybody that has ever gifted me their time and the opportunity to talk to them. But in no particular order, Richard Sherman the first time was just craziness. Julie Andrews, Kevin Feige. There's a few other ones in there too that, for one reason or another, just have personal significance to me, and hopefully ones that you enjoyed as well. Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. Maybe I will. All right, wait, I'll do a quick poll. So tomorrow, for our first a new episode, which is going to be an old episode on in the feed, what would you like to hear? Right? Would you like to hear another interview from the past that you haven't heard in a long time? Do you want me to sort of resurrect a Richard Sherman, maybe a Charlie Ridgway, maybe a Marty Sklar or a Tony Baxter, somebody more obscure, maybe one of the Imagineers whose names you might not know but had incredible stories and value to bring? I think we did a show once with an Imagineer. It's called like How to Be an Imagineer. I don't remember the gentleman's name, but let me know here more. Let me know in the clubhouse. If somebody can post that in the clubhouse, let me know what you might like to hear on tomorrow's or one of the other new shows in the feed from the vault, as it were. Topolino's Terrace or Boathouse? So Denise, I have to, for overall like place that I can go back to over and over again. I was just there the other night. I mean, Boathouse is Boathouse. It's the food, it's the service, it's the views. We were sitting outside. It was a gorgeous night. However, Topolino's Terrace is in the conversation in terms of great meals. I still have not done a review there. Do you want to know why? Because I can't find anybody who would want to go with me. I need to do that, I think, sooner. I haven't done a live review in a long time. Maybe Topolino's Terrace needs to be next. I also want to review Docking Bay 7. There's a lot of places that I really want to go. Somebody asked if Takumi Te is open. It is open, but right now it's only omakase. So there's only a single item on the menu. There's a plant-based option as well, but omakase is basically loosely translated mean like chef's choice, chef selection. So you go in and there is it's a 7, I think at Takumi, it's a 7-course meal that you have an idea what's coming out. You can say if there's anything maybe that you don't want. It is a remarkably good meal, but they don't have sort of an a la carte menu back yet. Does MouseFan Travel accept non-US clients? I'm going to say for Becky, yes, unless she tells me no, but I believe so. Will there be a WWO cheer group at Disneyland next year? Marla Chan. So first, hi. 2, you're awesome. 3, yes. Yes. Of course. We have to go out because it's just another excuse to go out to Disneyland. And of course, I want to be there to cheer. The waking up early part, not so much, but yeah. A lot of votes for Julie Andrews. A lot of votes for Richard Sherman. Rich McDonough says, I love the Corcus walkthroughs. By the way, I know a number of you have asked and reached out to me privately about Jim. I did post in the clubhouse that I had seen Jim a week or 2 ago. I can only share this. Jim is doing well. I don't want to sort of share any additional more private details. Jim is doing well. He's still in the hospital. He's going to be there for a little while longer. As I can, I will share more details and more updates. But I have passed along to him your thoughts and your prayers and your outreach and concern. I know he is incredibly grateful to you and for you for that. So a lot of love for Richard Sherman interviews, questions about, I want you to post the one where they ended up interviewing you. It was Ridley Pearson. Did we record that? Did I record that where Ridley Pearson turned the tables? It was on our Dream Cruise in 2013, 2012, 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. I can see the logo. And I can see Ridley Pearson standing up on the chair, but I don't know if somebody can give a quick look up. I'll check the matrix, not that matrix, like my show matrix, and see if I can find that. So, Ashley says, who do I want to interview next? So, like, if I'm thinking like next in terms of next 30 days, who would I want to interview? Everybody's like, oh, it's Bob Iger. And it's not, right? It's not Bob Iger while he's CEO. I want to interview Bob Iger after he's CEO. I want to, like, I say all the time, Michael Eisner is sort of is a bucket list, right? And enough time has passed that I would love to chat with Michael Eisner. But right now, Jon Favreau would be up there. I would love to talk to Jon Favreau. I want to be friends with Jon Favreau. It's going to be weird because I would tell him that, because it's not just his performance in Rudy and him acting in Iron Man and him directing, Mandalorian and all the other things he does. And I love the Chef. I love the movie Chef. I love the Chef show. If you love Jon Favreau as much as I do, just go put the Chef show on in the background and let it play for hours on Netflix. Really, really good. Don't watch Hungry, by the way. Wait a minute. Speaking of Chef, as if you heard me, Chef Bob reporting in from Porter, Texas. Yes, Chef Bob sadly left the boathouse and has moved on to pursue his passion and follow his dream and open up his own Italian restaurant in Texas, which when it opens, Bob, you got to let me know. I'm going to find a way to make my way out there, and I'm going to come see you. I'm going to come eat there. We're going to go live from there, and we're going to do it all. But you are missed at the boathouse, brother. I have met actually, the other day, I met Tony, introduced me to the chef who has taken over as head chef. And he's a wonderful guy, and he's going to be great, but you are very much missed at the boathouse. You were a fixture there, and you were one of the incredibly friendly faces that I always loved seeing when I went. So the boathouse is the same, but it's not the same, if you get my meaning. So let me see. I will pass along, again, your messages to Jim Korkis when I see him or talk to him. I'm going to try and see him. Okay, so Becky says show 342 back in 2013. Good Lord, 10 years ago when Ridley Pearson turns the tables. Is that the one? Is that the one that you want me to do tomorrow? I don't want to do that. It feels self-serving because the show is not about me. So I don't want to do that because I don't want anybody to think like, oh, he's adding a new show to the feed and the first one he does is about him. So you can go back and find that one, but suggest others that you might want to see. Ryan Donahoe's been sitting at DocuBake 7 for 6 weeks waiting for the review to start. Ryan Donahoe, shoot me a message when this is over, man. We will get that one set up. Maybe we'll find somebody else. Maybe we'll find a third person just so we can order more food. We'll find a third person from the nation who would love to come and do a Docking Bay 7 review, much like this week's show where, oh no, wait, I haven't aired that one yet. Much like this coming week's show, someone from the nation literally petitioned, like in a long, very compelling email about why this person should join me for a top 10 segment. If you want to come and review Docking Bay 7 with me and the Ryan Donahoe from the Forcecast, send me a message in Facebook, or obviously you have to be local or be in town when we would do this. Otherwise it makes it very, very difficult. So, let's see. A lot of love and congrats for Chef Bob. We'll have to check it out when it opens. Chef Bob, where is it? Where can you say where the restaurant is going to be? Oh, it looks like, okay, it's going to be in Porter, Texas. We can listen, when I go to see Chef Bob in his new restaurant with my stretchy pants, I will let you know I'll not just let Chef Bob, but let you know in advance. And if you're in the area, we'll get a table for 20 or however many people it is, and we'll go see Chef Bob together. So Becky Mencken says in her puppet voice, hey, Ryan Donahoe, I think I should be there. I'm assuming she's talking about the review. Does Becky know that it's counter service? I don't think anybody, it's not the Star Cruiser. It's Docking Bay 7. If somebody could pass that message along to her, that might change her opinion somewhat. So, Kevin, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be able to make it. I have a couple of conflicts. One, it's Easter, and then I had another conflict come up right before. It might be a little bit difficult to do. How about doing a meet of the month in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? So, Nate, that is not actually outside the realm of possibility. My daughter goes to school in Pittsburgh, so I do go up every so often. Maybe when this semester is over and I go pick her up, we might be able to coordinate some sort of a meetup in in the Pittsburgh area. Becky, top one thing that will never, ever happen except when I'm dead. I think someday Deanna and I should do a takeover. No, I don't. I'm not even joking. Like, I don't think that should happen. And if you want that to be the final episode of W Radio, even that gives me the cringes. Like, everything about that is just wrong and bad, and I am moving on. Yes, Lori Oliveri, there's going to be a meet of the month during Princess Weekend. It will most likely be on Saturday. I'm trying to figure out time, place, location, date, all of the different alignment of the stars that have to make that happen, but it will. I always like to try and do meetups during events and things like that. So Gina Flacco, first weekend in May, I am not going to be able to do. Oh, wait, do you want to know why I can't do it for the first weekend in May? I'm going to tell you as if I had this planned, which I didn't. I can't do it the first weekend in May because the weekend before is my Momentum Weekend Retreat, right? So it's actually April 28th to the 30th. It is a 3-day weekend retreat limited to only 10 people in a vacation home. It is 3 days of masterminding, focus, plan, strategy, executing, eating, pool party. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and it is the best way I have found to help you take your business to the next level. I also you can take advantage of the super duper, not just super, it's a super duper early bird special with $200 off your seat. If you have any questions, just let me know and reach out to me. But I love. So I'm not going to be able to do that. And then because I literally go right from the retreat to another conference. So I'm not going to be able to get up to Pittsburgh that weekend. So, Matt and Monaco would travel to Pittsburgh there. So Matt Woolley says, any plans for future audio tours of the park? So I've said this before, Matt. Here's the problem with the audio tours, right? And the best way I can describe it is this, is doing an audio tour is like writing a book, right? And you have to write that book and turn that book into a script. And then you've got to take that script and walk it and plan it and produce it and record it. And there's a lot to it. And although I don't do them obviously on CD anymore, you can Google what a CD is, the process is still the same, right? And the process takes, to do it right, the ones that I've done in the past take maybe a year, 8 months, like from beginning to end. So taking the CD production process out of it, maybe it's 8 months. Maybe I can refine it to 6 months to get one done. Let's assume I go to Epcot next. I have to do an overview of Epcot, just the history of it, which is at least one audio tour in and of itself. There's an overview of what Epcot is now. There is, I would actually ideally sort of want to talk about Future World and then World Showcase separately, but you figure one for each of the pavilions. There's 8, 9 in Future World. There's 11. That would be about 22, 23 different audio tours just for Epcot. If each pavilion, each country got their own, and each deserves their own. If it took me a year, it would take me 23 years. If it took me 6 months, it would still take me 12 years to do it, 11 years to do it. So I'm going to take the audio tour model, and I'm going to try and push those into more of a DSI type of situation and do those on the show. So you don't have to buy them, won't be anything that you have to do. It'll just be part of the show and DSI. So there you go. If somebody can put this poll in the clubhouse for me, what DSI, Disney Scene Investigation, would you like me to do next? Whether it is on a current or a former attraction, a pavilion, a piece of history, a Wayback Machine, what sort of DSI would you like me to do next? And if you want to join me on one, and you want to say, Lou, I know everything there is to know about the Odyssey, and which, not that I would do a full show about the Odyssey, but whatever your thing is, I know everything there is to know about this pavilion, about this attraction, but make your claim, make your petition, and let me know if you would like to be part of it. Even the DSIs, they're a lot of fun. I love doing, but I'm a researcher. It's who I am. It's what I love to do. It's the lawyer in me. So even DSIs take a really, really long time to research. Like days. Like I spend days researching DSIs because I want to make sure that the shows are not only accurate, but valuable and interesting and complete, which is often very difficult, which is why I still have all of these books and those books and the books in there and the books in there, because I pull from a lot of different sources and resources to try and give the most complete picture, because I don't want anybody to listen and go, but what about that? Or that was inaccurate, or that was incorrect. I really try and be like, I try and put the best product out there for every single thing that I do, including every single show, even this live show. It might not seem that way, but even the live shows as well. Are you and Becky going to do a resort report for Caribbean, Animal Kingdom Lodge, and Pop Century? Amy, I have been trying to get Becky to get on the horn and do a resort report for I don't know how long. She's so busy. Here, let me tell you, she said, I don't have time for you and I don't even know what that word means. So yes, we're eventually going to do it, but it's really just a matter of working into Becky's schedule. I'd love to see you come to New York and do a show about Disney on Broadway. I almost did one a couple of years ago, and I don't remember the person who proposed it to me. I don't remember why we never got it scheduled or rescheduled. A DSI on Expedition Everest. Becky's texting me. Oh my God. Wow. The words, Becky, my God, go to confession talking like that. A DSI on Rock. Yeah, put all these things either in an email, in a Facebook message, or in the clubhouse if you can, because there's no way I'm going to, Becky, that is a gesture. My stars. That is not appropriate. I hope you don't, if you do that in some of the countries we're going to on the cruise, you might get thrown in jail. I have to get a 10-year-old to explain to me what that even means. We are way behind on resort reports and an email show. We will do one the next time you're here, if you can fit me into your schedule. You're seeing Hercules the musical in New Jersey this weekend. My daughter's actually going in a couple of weeks. Like she's coming down because she's not going to be able to go to Italy. I don't want to cry on camera. Don't cry on camera. Don't cry on camera. She's not going to be able to come to Italy. So as a not so conciliatory consolation prize, she's going to see Hercules in New Jersey. So Jim Rohosky, thank you very much. We, my friend, too, we have to make our plans for coffee and or lunch. So, Gene, I want to do a meetup in Philadelphia to celebrate the fact that the Eagles lost and the Disney 100 Institute Disney 100 exhibit at the Franklin Institute. Again, timing is my enemy. I have so much travel going on. I've got other sort of commitments here, and I'm not going to be able to make it before it leaves, unfortunately. I hear it's a remarkably good exhibit. I would love to get up there. So, as a former usher on Broadway, we want a revival of Beauty and the Beast. Did I ever see Beauty on Broadway? No. What's the best Broadway show? We'll have to put this as a poll in the clubhouse. What's the best Broadway show you've ever seen? Disney or otherwise? What is the best Broadway show you have ever seen? If someone wants to put that in there, that would be awesome. Chad Brockbrader says, I just got home from the Disney 100 exhibit. It was, in his words, incredible. I would love to see it. And by the way, speaking of exhibits, it's not Disney 100, but if you are in the Los Angeles area, if you've ever been to the Huntington Gardens Museum, Library, Gardens, etc., they have a, forgive me what it's called. It is called, I even bought something to give away on a contest prize. I don't have it. It's called, there's a Disney animation exhibit there, which is so good. Going back to like Snow White, Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast. It is gorgeous. It is absolutely gorgeous. Like make a special trip to go and see it because it is that good. So, Denise, I did see Phantom of the Opera on Broadway. I saw Phantom on Broadway. I saw Lion King on Broadway. I've seen Mary Poppins. I've seen Peter Pan. I've seen The Wiggles. I'm not kidding. It was Radio City, but it's fine. It still counts. When I lived in Jersey, and when I was younger and involved in theater, I went a lot more, not so much as an adult. But my daughter is very involved in theater. She's studying stage management, so she loves and eventually hopes to be on Broadway. So Ashley's going to the Huntington March 11th for the Dapper event. Can't wait. I love my family and I, especially my daughter. We love the Huntington. We spent an entire day there in the pouring rain, soaked, don't care, love everything about it. The only thing that was bad was that the restaurant by the China Gardens was closed. It was when we went a couple of years ago. The food was so, even the gardens, it comes back to food. It was so good. So that's it. The French inspiration of Disney films. Thank you very much. Thank you. Marla Chen, you should go to the Huntington Library. I never posted. I just realized I never posted about. I took pictures and I never created a post about it. I will try to. But see, things like that are things that I can do and talk about and review on the Thursday shows, on these shorter solo. Even if it's just a 5-minute type of show, it's the kind of stuff that I can cover without having to take up or try and do in a full Monday episode. So I can't wait. I've never been to the tea room. The tea room has been closed every single time. The tea room's been closed, and they were still refurbishing like part of China, and there was something else in Japan that was closed too. It might have just been the weather. So I know we'll be back again because my daughter especially just absolutely loves it. So Chad says the Disney 100 starts with Walt's megaphone from Laugh-O-Gram and ends with Captain Marvel's costume and everything in between. Man, now I'm sad I'm not going to be able to make up there for it. Unless, if only there was anybody who would do like a one-day trip for cheesesteaks and Disney 100. I would literally do that. I would fly up like for a day and get cheesesteaks and go to the Disney 100 exhibit. If only there was someone who would take me, anyone. Moving on. Plus, now that the Eagles lost, I have no problem going to Philadelphia. Let's see. I've never been to the tea room. I see you guys talking about Hamilton. I know I'm going to get hate for this. I did not. Was not my cup of Hamilton. It was not my cup of tea. Speaking of tea rooms. Yes, I am dissing the Eagles because I'm a diehard. I bleed blue for New York Giants, but we move on. Body by Cheesesteak. Are you a Pat's guy, a Geno's guy, or do you have your little sort of hole in the wall cheesesteak place? Jason says, "This one-day trip I'm in. We have to get Pat's and Geno's." Exactly. That's how you do it. The last time I was in Pennsylvania I spoke at a school. That's what it was. And Dom, if you're here, Dom drove me to the airport and we had time to kill. We went to Pat's and Geno's, and I literally it was a thing of beauty. It was a thing of absolute beauty. Let's see. No, you get Whiz Wit. You have to get Whiz Wit, Jeff. If you're going to do it right. Like if you're going to go down swinging. You got to get Paul Hoffman. Only tried Geno's. Pittsburgh has good cheesesteaks. Would love to try one in Philly. Yeah, I have not had a Pittsburgh cheesesteak yet. I usually go to speak in Pittsburgh. I've spoken to Pittsburgh the last couple of years at a school. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to go up and then pandemic years, I wasn't able to go, but I would love to go back. And by the way, there's a Mr. Rogers exhibit at St. Vincent's College. So I love Mr. Rogers as well. So do I think the dinosaur countdown will be taken down? They will add on to Pandora. Amy, I can neither confirm nor deny my belief that the dinosaur attraction is not long for this world. And I will not say why I think that is, but I think if you love dinosaur, I would get your rides in now. I would get your rides in now. So, let me see. There was something else. Whoops. What did I just do here? Oh, Mangello. That's what you get for clicking around like that. Oops. Should really lock this in place. Oops. No, that's fine. Close enough. Um, Dinosaurs do not eat your head. I'm going to see Quantumania on Friday. I was not able to. I was not able to go to one of the screenings, which I really wanted to do, but I just couldn't. The travel time to get where I could go to the screenings, I just could not fly north or west and get back in time. So I'm seeing it on Friday in Disney Springs, and I know nothing. I have not watched any of the reviews. I haven't even watched all the trailers. Like, I want to go in completely blind. Although, is this something you'd like to hear on the show? Would you like to hear sort of how to prepare for the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? We're turning a very, very big page in Marvel storytelling. And it's been a page that's sort of been turning for a while. And this, I think it started with some of the other things that will sort of make more sense as time goes on. But would you like to see here something like, what you need to read to prepare for the next phase of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Something to help you sort of set up for it? Or do you not care about the Marvel stuff that much? Do you not care about the comic books or anything like that? Or do you not want to sort of know in advance? I think especially for where this is going, because we're going from street level, if you sort of see the way the stories are being told, we're going very much from street level to sort of a more global perspective to, then we went to space, and now we're going to sort of the cosmic realm and the quantum realm, and things are about to get very, very, very confusing. Like, if you even watch some of the videos that other folks have put out, sort of prepping you for what's to come, you get 20 minutes in, you're like, wait, I got to start writing this down. And you're doing this all kinds of weird diagram about what is who connected to who. So would something like that be helpful to you? Let me know. So Emily says, any plans to ride Tron yet? So Emily, I had the pleasure and the privilege of riding Tron with Becky Mankin. I'm not saying that was the pleasure or the privilege, but we did ride Tron in Shanghai. I did get to go to cast previews this past week. You know who you are. Thank you very much. I love you. Had a lot of fun. Had a great time riding Tron. I will only say this because I'm also not the spoiler guy. I'm taking my glass off for effect. Please, 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 please. It's so frustrating when the day that first cast previews come out, there is so much complaining and whining and vitriol and just nonsense about the attraction. It's too this, it's too that. I don't like this. They should have done this. Good. By the power of Grayskull, just enjoy what you have. Tron is a great, great attraction. It is fun. It is fast. It is not scary. It's not too short. It's as long as it is supposed to be. It is spectacular at night. The soundtrack is awesome. It's inside. It's outside. It's accessible because it has, for those people who are concerned about not being able to fit into the bike, they have seats in the back of some of the last cars where you can sit down with a lap bar so you can transfer out of a scooter or wheelchair, or if you're a super tall person and you can't wait, you can ride it. You can ride it. It is worth riding. It is so, so good. It is even better at night. I cannot wait for it to open. And maybe, we should do, I didn't get it ready. We should go back to the Disney Plus pick of the week and make Tron Legacy be a must watch. So you can sort of get ready for Tron. You don't need to know anything about Tron Legacy, but I think Tron Legacy got a little bit of a bum rap. I think Tron Legacy, like the original Tron, I think the visuals are spectacular. I think the story gets a little, I think the story, the writing got a little muddled. So it like where we're going in the Marvel universe can get confusing. You don't necessarily understand everything that's happening or why. You don't have to. You can just enjoy Tron for the visuals, for the audio, for the sense of placemaking. And what I think this is going to mean for the future of Tomorrowland as a whole, I know nothing. But if they want to make the old Tomorrowland Power and Light Company arcade, may you rest in peace, I miss you so very much. If they want to make that an end-of-line club or so, this brains would love that. Would love that. I love Tron. Like, I grew up with Tron. I grew up with the original Tron. I took them down to save. I have my original, 3.5-inch figures with the glow-in-the-dark identity discs on the back. I have all kinds of Tron Legacy collectibles I took off. Well, wait, there's my identity disc, right? Oh, gosh, I'm so bad at this. There's my identity disc right there. Tron is great. Do not let the people who are looking to get attention and clicks by being negative influence you or your opinion. Go in with an open mind, ride it for yourself, and as a wise man, and a not so wise man once said, I'm going to get this right one of these days, choose the good. Choose the good. It is Tron is really cool, man. It is a really, you are smiling and laughing and just you're screaming with delight at that launch. It is good stuff. It is really good stuff. And I think it's even more accessible, and understanding that I did not have necessarily sensitivity, so I can't speak to it, but I have heard from other people and just judging objectively, I think it's less intense than Guardians of the Galaxy because there's no spinning involved. Guardians, there's a lot of moving around and you get a little disoriented and head spinning. So I understand why sometimes people come off and they don't always feel the best. That's not an issue on Tron. You can even tell because all the garbage cans have lids on them. So it's a little bit more of a chill experience. Jim says, my daughter's there now riding it. Her boyfriend has been on it 24 times. What? Come on, man. That's just not cool. I mean, it's very cool, but it's not cool because I haven't gotten to ride it 24 times and I haven't gotten to ride it at night yet, but I can't wait. And I really think that Tron and then the Power of Light Company, which is not done yet, is going to usher in, and just the handwriting's on the wall. It's subtle, but look around Tomorrowland. The paint colors are changing everywhere. They're repainting Space Mountain, by the way, not just to give it a brighter shade of white, but even on the base, that color is changing. The wheels are in motion for an update that is coming to Tomorrowland. I have said it for a long time. I think the pandemic and other things have sort of held that at bay, but I think that is finally coming, and I think it's going to be a welcome addition. And if you look around, places like Merchant of Venus is empty. It's no longer a store. It has tables and chairs inside. That's the death knell, right? That's an indicator something is coming. Stitch's Great Escape has sat empty for years. The Monsters, Inc. laugh floor has not really been updated in a long time. That's also a people eater. Tomorrowland Noodle Station has not reopened yet, but paint schemes are changing. Things are going away. Things are coming in. The details and the changes are subtle, but I think it represents a lot more that is coming. Flynn's. Yeah, I mean, if that's exactly what it needs to be, right? Or better yet, wait, how about this, right? Mike Beckerman, you have the idea. Make it Flynn's Arcade. Make it a quick service. You said it should be a quick service. Wait, that's it. It's a quick service restaurant called Flynn's Arcade, but you have video games all around the perimeter. That's the idea. Imagine that glowing orange and yellow neon Flynn sign lighting up Tomorrowland. Beckerman, from your mouth to God's and Iger's ear. God first, then Iger. Whoever has to make that call, that should only happen. My brain would be spilled out everywhere. They would literally need to resuscitate us. We would be sitting there in the Tomorrowland needing paramedic help if we walked in, and when they turn the light on, right, at night, at that golden hour, it's like in Cars Land, that moment when they turn the neon on and it blinks and sort of sputters a little bit, just like when they turn the Flynn's Arcade light on. Come on, man. Come on. I'm going to fall asleep to watching Tron Legacy tonight. You should too. Not you. You should too. But I want you to watch the movie. Watch the movie. Becky, by the way, Tron is a film about a computer programmer who has his whatever. You don't have to watch the first one. You don't have to watch the first Tron, but watch Tron Legacy so you're ready. Tron's Legacy soundtrack is awesome. Tron's Legacy soundtrack. There's also there's one. It's like Tron Derezed is like remixes of the Tron Legacy soundtrack, which is also really good. It's the Daft Punk stuff is really good, and I can't remember the composer of the score. I can't remember the woman's name, but she did a really, really nice job as well. I can't remember what her name is, but you can find it on Spotify. Tron Legacy soundtrack is really good. Get in your car, put down the windows, crank up the Tron Legacy soundtrack, and go get yourself a McRib. That's a good day right there. I know that they don't have McRibs anymore, but now I'm craving a cheeseburger. I have leftover White Castle downstairs. My night was just made. It's the little things and the little cheeseburgers that make me happy. Will they add on to Pandora? Amy, I actually think that the plan was always to add on to Pandora because they cut things like Navi River Journey got cut down like 60% from concept to execution. There's more room, including over by Zatuli Canteen and behind Wind Traders, as well as some other parts and parking lots that they could take advantage of. I absolutely think that you're going to get a Pandora expansion, especially with two more movies planned. I think that's, if I was a betting man, and I would put money on that. I would actually put money on that. I saw somebody, man, I am so mad, not mad, I'm sad. I'm disappointed that I never got to see, oh my God, Electronica in Disneyland when it was there. I saw the Mad Tea Party, which opened a few weeks after, but I never got to see Electronica, and I heard that was really, really cool in Disneyland. So, Stephanie Marie, nice to see you again in person and here. Linda Raymond, you've never seen Tron. Linda, it's on Disney Plus. Go see it. I still like the original, right? It's campy, but if you remember when the original came out, raise your hand if you were old enough to remember it when it came out in 1982. It was groundbreaking in terms of visual effects. There's actually a really good documentary about it. It's a little long, but there's a documentary on YouTube you can find about the making of Tron from the digital perspective, literally inventing technology on the fly to make that happen. And if you go back, some of those graphics still hold up. And some of the scenes literally were individual, think about like animation, right? Individual cells, but there's individual cells with 7 layers on them because they'll have the actors, then they'll colorize the costumes, and then they'll black out it's crazy how they did it. The technology was so advanced. How advanced was it? It was so advanced that the Motion Picture Academy would not nominate it for a special effect award because they thought using computers was cheating. Silence for effect. And then the visuals in Tron Legacy are spectacular, especially in places like when they get on the grid in the End of Line Club. Really, really, really good. Becky says she thinks she saw Tron. Oh, good Lord. Don't mock my White Castle date night. I made reservations at White Castle. I was a superhero last night. We loved it. The 3 of us. Me, the old lady, and a kid. White Castle. There was roses on the table. There was decorations. There was table service. It was wonderful. And I have leftovers. And we ate our faces off for like $47.95. So if I would have gone for sushi, it would have been $300. So Beckerman, yeah, I never saw Electronica, man. I'm super, super, super bummed. I never got to see it. So who knows what we might get in Tomorrowland. So let me see. Let me catch up really quickly before we move on. The original Tron was epic, not just for the special effects, but for the sound too. Also a great set. Maybe I'm getting wrong. Maybe the woman that I'm thinking of, yeah, she did the original Tron score on like Moog synthesizers, and I can't remember who did the full score because I don't think Daft Punk did the entire score, but I could be wrong for Tron Legacy. So, I have never been to Vienna or any of the other cruise locations at all. I've never been to that. The only place I've ever been in Europe was Paris when I was in high school, which doesn't count because I was in high school. And I've been to London, and that's it so far. So, let me just catch up on some of the other comments. Tron was better than Black Hole. Brian Dennis says Tron was better than Black Hole. Yes, Tron was better than Black Hole. Black Hole had promise. It had good element. It actually had a great cast. The cast for Black Hole was fantastic. The storyline, the idea, the concept for Black Hole was great. The dialogue, the execution, the budget, the ending, so bizarre, so weird. I loved Black Hole as a kid. I still have multiple little Vincent figures in my collection and up on my wall. I loved Vincent. I loved Slim Pickens as Bob, uncredited, by the way, in the credits, Slim Pickens as Bob. But it was a weird time for Disney, right? They were trying to dip their toe into waters that they had never swam in before. So sci-fi, they start off with things like Black Hole. It was an experiment that didn't necessarily execute as well. And that was supposed to be sort of the first foray, and Black Hole was going to be like more than just what it was. Obviously, they tried to dip their toes into the spy thriller. Condor Man maybe did not get the critical acclaim it deserved because it was Condor Man, but they're like, oh, we're going to make a Disney version of James Bond. Ron Miller had great ideas. Execution, technology didn't necessarily play out as well. So, Elizabeth, yes, we can go to London soon. I'm not telling you that Becky and I have talked about a London-Paris trip and that plans are in the works and we're going to announce it at some point soon. But if that ever happens, I will certainly let you know. Just text me and I'll tell you the dates. See, Beckerman, you get me. Beckerman gets me. Words which I never thought I would ever say, but Beckerman gets me because he gets Vincent. Although you didn't put periods in between each of the letters because Vincent is actually an acronym for, oh my God, I have to remember. I have to hand in my Black Hole card. I don't remember what Vincent stands for. It actually stands for something. I just remember oh yeah, we should go back and watch the Tron episode of Prop Culture and see those poor those costumes literally just sort of falling apart. Wait, I should also resurrect my interview with Cindy Morgan, who was Yori from Tron. Also, I can't say the name of her character. Her first name was Lacey from Caddyshack. I love Cindy Morgan. She was known so nice and so sweet and so kind. I remember I needed to teach her how to use Skype because she didn't know how to use Skype. But she was so nice, and I've seen her at conventions even since then, and it's nice seeing her. So, but yeah, maybe I'll bring back the Yori from Tron episode. I have to write that down. Plus, I just like Cindy Morgan. She's just like a nice person. So, all right, a couple other questions, and we will move on. The Black Hole is essentially 20,000 leagues under the sea in space. Yeah, yes. A little bit darker, a little bit more sinister, but yes. Michael Eisner did save the Disney company. You're 100% right, which is why I want to interview him, because people only remember how he left. They don't remember what he did while he was here. I would do a very, love letter episode. And if I can't get Michael Eisner, maybe I'll just do an episode about Michael Eisner. Maybe that's what I need to do. The legacy of Michael Eisner. Somebody write that down. Do a show with the legacy of Michael Eisner, especially now that time has gone on and we look back on all of the things, top 10 things that Michael Eisner did to and for this company, including saving it. And if you like a lot of the hotels that you have in Walt Disney World, you can thank Michael Eisner. If you like Disney's Hollywood Studios, you can thank Michael Eisner. If you like a lot of things in Epcot Center, you could also thank Michael Eisner. So he's uncredited with doing a lot of good for this company. But yeah, somebody remind me. Maybe we'll do a show about the legacy of Michael Eisner. And if there's somebody who feels that they are an Eisner, I guess you can't be an Eisner expert, but if you are knowledgeable at it and want to join me, we can do that too. So, show 227, is it possible it was 12 years ago I interviewed Cindy Morgan? Oh my God. I'm older than I thought. Good Lord. Wow. Yes, there'll be a meetup before the cruise in April. Yes, there's supposed to be a season 2 of Prop Culture. Dan Lanigan was fascinating. I really, really, really enjoyed it. I hate when we get excited about series like that start and then we don't hear about them again. One day, I'll tell the story about the Disney Plus series that almost happened and never did. It's not like I had nothing to. Whatever. I'll share the story one of these days. But, I'd love a show about Michael Eisner. Brian Jones, he did do so much. Can we thank the Phoenicians? You can always thank the Phoenicians. I've never thought about it until now, but did Iger give me Eisner, not Iger. Iger gave you a lot too, but they both listen. The contributions from both of them are a lot. So no, I cannot tell the story now. And one of these I'll tell you reason why I can't tell the story now when I tell the story later, because the thing still might happen. I just don't know yet. It's just the way those things work. But anyway. All right, that is going to do it tonight. Ask Me Anything turned more into NatGeo, Michael Eisner, Tron, and a few questions here and there. But did you have fun? Did you enjoy your Wednesday night? Is this better than anything you might have found on YouTube or TikTok or Disney Plus? I hope so. Because I am grateful to you and for you for the time that you spend and share with me. Couple of quick reminders. If you want to join us on our NatGeo adventure, our expedition to the Christmas Market River Cruise this December, you can visit www.radio.com/NatGeo23. If you want to join me at my Momentum Weekend Retreat, turn what you love into what you do, whether you have an idea, blog, business, brand, podcast, product, whatever it might be, there's a great opportunity to spend a weekend and mastermind with 10 like-minded entrepreneurs, and I promise make a real difference, not just in your business, but in your life as well. Our super duper early bird special ends in 10 days, February 25th. Don't forget to check out the NatGeo documentary starting Friday about the Disney Wish, and maybe next week we're also going to talk about Ant-Man. If you haven't gotten your tickets to see Ant-Man Quantumania, get them. I'm going on Friday and cannot wait. I know I'm forgetting a couple of things. Wait. That's not what I wanted to put up. Yeah, there was one other thing I wanted to put up. Oh, that's what it was. It was our April cruise on Disney Fantasy. If you want to join us, there's still some availability and some great pricing available too for this cruise in April. I cannot wait. And as you know exactly where I'm going to go. Thank you again, as always, to you. If you are a member of the WDW Radio Nation, you literally are the reason why this show exists. I love being able to share special things with you, to have you be part of such an important part of making WDW Radio happen. And what else? Oh, I know what else I forgot. Wait, how could I forget? If you're coming to World, if you're coming to anywhere on the planet, go visit Becky and our friends, my friends, and your friends over at Mouse Fan Travel. Oh, by the way, if you want to talk about Ant-Man Quantumania, We're going to talk about it over in the spoiler support group at www.com/spoilers. Choose the good. Be the good. Find the good in everything and everyone. I know it's hard sometimes that you meet, and I promise you can make the world a better place, one person, one day, one interaction at a time. I love you. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for a new show in your feed from the archives tomorrow. If there's anything I can do for you, please reach out and let me know. And that's going to do it. Thank you for spending and sharing your night with me. So until next time, see ya.